It's another edition of Time About the Movies, and today we're taking a look at the films of March 9th, 2001. We got 3 movies to look at today, so let's just go ahead and jump on into it. We'll start off with the biggest new release of the weekend, Robert De Niro and Edward Burns in 15 minutes. So the story of this movie is that you have a homicide detective played by Robert De Niro and a fire marshal played by Edward Burns, who join forces to apprehend a pair of Eastern European murderers, videotaping their crimes in order to become rich and famous. As the title indicates, it's a reference to the Andy Warhol question, in the future everyone will be world famous for 15 minutes. Well, everybody will be world famous for 15 minutes, but this movie was not famous for 15 minutes. In fact, it was pretty much dead on arrival when it came out. This thing did not do well at the box office. It kind of crashed and burned. And the movie itself was not that great either. It was a movie it's one of those movies that tries to say, like, oh, we're trying to say something about the, violence in the media and all that. But in a movie where it's trying to be like that, it's basically telling you that, this thing lures heavily on the violence factor, and the satire is not really all that funny. It doesn't have something like on the levels of something like, Roger Ebert kind of said it best. It doesn't have the polish of something like A Natural Born Killers or the Whatever Wag the Dog, but it's not even that entertaining of a film altogether. You don't really get a connection between any of the two leads in this movie, and yeah, it is cool to see Kelsey Grammer in a movie where he has a significant role in here, but it's not really worth it when the film is not really all that great either. You have a lot of good talent in this movie. Avery Brooks from Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Melina Kanakarides from Providence, John DeRista, Charlize Theron, David Alan Grier, Kim Cattrall. Pretty good cast overall in this movie. You even have Anton Yelchin from Star Trek in an early film role. But other than that, though, I don't think the real message of the movie was getting out that well. And it's a shame because this came from the same director that gave us 2 Days in the Valley, which was a decent film overall, but unfortunately not this one. This one really is not that great of a film. It really isn't all that enjoyable in the long run. You don't really get a full sense of enjoyment or excitement out of it when it's all said and done, and you do kind of expect more from it. And again, it's one of those movies that kind of has a problem with what kind of a tone it wants to take. Does it want to? It's trying to be more of a thriller, but when you have people like David Alan Grier as a mugger in this movie, you really don't know if they're trying to be serious or not, or if it's supposed to be more comedic than it's supposed to be. It's a satire, yes, but it's a satire that kind of plays itself way too seriously, and I think that's really the biggest problem with it. It doesn't know where the line is, what kind of a line it wants to take, and I thought, from me personally, I didn't think it worked, but some people I've seen on here do like it, but I've only seen it once. I've really had no desire to go back to it, quite honestly, but that's 15 minutes for you, so let's go ahead and move on to our next movie, which is Get Over It. Another one of those movies that was trying to capture lightning in a bottle, with Clueless being an adaptation of Emma, and then you had 10 Things I Hate About You. Here's another one that's trying to take a lot from, it's loosely based on a Midsummer Night's Dream, where you have a high school senior who desperately tries to win back his ex-girlfriend by joining the school play. She and her new boyfriend are performing in it, and against the advice of their friends. You see Kirsten Dunst, Ben Foster, Melissa Sage Miller, Cisco, Shane West, Colin Hanks among the cast here, and there's just nothing about this movie that I think really works. I mean, the fact that Cisco is one of the kids in this school, it's just kind of like, yeah, you kind of took all the believability out of the picture there. Another one of those movies that has too big of a cast, really, to make it work, or too good of a cast that I think really deserves a lot more better material than this. I mean, Susie Kurtz, Ed Begley Jr., Zoe Saldana, one of her early film roles, Mila Kunis, Carmen Electra, Vitamin C, Martin Short. There are good talent in this movie. There is good talent in this movie. I don't know what I'm saying there, but there is good talent in this movie. But the movie itself really does not justify the quality of the actors involved in it. I feel like a better script for this movie would have done a whole lot better if they had gotten a better writer for this, a better director overall. But it feels like Miramax this is still one of those movies where they were trying to capture the zeitgeist of, what Clueless did, and what movies like 10 Things I Hate About You were trying to do. Like, hey, we can modernize these classic stories and make something unique and different about them. And the end result here, not as good as I think they wanted it to be, and it really backfires pretty quickly. The movie itself is just not really that enjoyable in the long run, and Yeah, it's not enjoyable. It's not. It's a movie that's not really all that great. It just felt like one of those movies they tried to dump out in the January, February, but they tricked the people to put it by putting it out in March because they thought, hey, we've got a movie here, and it just didn't work. It just didn't work in my opinion. So let's get over it. So let's go ahead and take a look at our last film we have here, and that is Blow Dry. So Blow Dry tells the story of it's the 2000 National Hair Championships. It comes across in this small town in England. The country's top stylists aren't expecting much from the local talent, but they didn't count on Phil Allen, played by Alan Rickman, the retired golden boy of the competition circuit, entering the fray. And he's going up against Bill Nighy. You have Josh Hartnett here. I don't know if he's trying to do a British accent or not, because he's not really doing a good job of hiding it, is of either showing that he wants to have that accent or not have that accent. I mean, he's not really having a good time trying to figure out what accent he's trying to do here, but you can clearly hear Rachel Lee Cook's American accent. You also see Natasha Richardson, Rachel Griffiths, Hugh Bonneville's also in the movie, Rosemary Harris, Heidi Klum. It's written by the guy who gave us the Full Monty, and I don't know, like, this is one that I've never seen it before, but from the trailer, it really doesn't look like a movie that really knew what it was trying to do. Like I said, you can't really tell what kind of an accent Josh Hartnett's trying to go for here. Is he trying to be, is he trying to be a British in this, or is he trying to be American? Because you're in the beginning, he's clearly doing the American accent, but then he changes it over to a British accent. It's just like, what are you trying to do here? And like, I mean, there's possibilities with Alan Rickman and Bill Nighy having this kind of feud between each other, from judging by this trailer. But other than that, though, it doesn't really look like there's a whole lot there to really make this movie stand out as something that needed to be made. I mean, I've never heard anybody really say anything but good about it. The reviews for it are not that strong, so it also didn't help that this movie was actually delayed when Craig Ferguson's The Big Tease came out the year before, which that one looks like it worked better compared to what this movie was trying to do. I don't know. I've never seen it before, but it doesn't look like anything too promising or too interesting in general, so I don't know if I'm going to check it out anytime soon, but that's Blow Dry. And so on that note, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies. We'll head into the middle of March on the next episode with DMX and Steven Seagal, the combination we've all been waiting for in Exit Wounds. We also have the war drama Enemy at the Gates and Christopher Nolan's Memento. So we'll take a look at all three of those films next time around. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the playlist on the next page, check out the previous episode, and also don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this on this channel. So with that said, I am off. I will see you guys next time, and until then, as always, take care.